hello, you 30.7 thousand beautiful changing wonders. Please buy a used car from me. I'm selling peace in a bomb box. All right. Yay. Give a thumbs up, like and subscribe, support the show in any way you can, pass it around, share the clips, all that kind of stuff. And away we go. So the big story, of course, and I'm sure Jimmy Dore is excited about this, is, of course, is the US dollar over? Because Saudi Arabia might use the yuan as their petrodollar for their increasingly dwindling petroleum reserves. And as they say in I guess in Delaware, have fun in your senior year. Good luck with that. Yes, use the yuan. Better than that, use the ruble. Don't use the US dollar. Please. Exit the dollar. Saudi Arabia, please. China, please. Exit the dollar. Don't use it as your reserve currency. Create a Bitcoin alternative with those other countries. Have at it. Knock yourself out. Fox has been talking about this horse shit for a couple of days now because this was the Saudi threat about this. Guess what? Nobody fucking cares. We are the only meaningful consumer society on the planet right now. China's is tanking. Europe will be sort of second in line, but it doesn't help. Once we exit, here's the thing: is the dollar leaving the oil markets? Guess what, fucko? The oil markets are going away. That's the big story about all of this. You are watching, partly because of Russia's efforts and partly because of our climate movement in the United States and in other markets, a huge movement away from petrochemicals as our primary way of powering things. That shift has already peaked and is on its slope. We are getting away from that stuff. So ultimately, if you don't use the dollar to trade in stuff that nobody gives a shit about anymore in about 10 years, no one cares. You will use it to buy and sell goods and services that are useful to your life past that point, which will largely be, as the future extends, technological in nature. So that nobody's going to use the South Korean currency or the Japanese currency, the yen there. They're going to use the US dollar for that kind of stuff. These countries will trade in that, and internally they'll use their own money, but they'll basically use this as the international trade because we'll be the biggest market still. And nobody doesn't know this. Nobody on Fox doesn't know this. Jimmy doesn't know this. He couldn't possibly. But this is this is one of those rub the hands together stories. I will be shocked if he doesn't have Richard Wolff on during this, right? Bill O'Reilly grills futurists who claims Biden's presidency will create massive wealth. You look good, Bill. All right. So here we go.
So I've always told you about the petrodollar. That's what
he has. He's always told us about the petrodollar.
Really runs our foreign policy, and that's why we do it.
No, it doesn't. The petrodollar does not run our foreign policy. Our need for oil in the past has, for a period of time, dictated some of the policies that we did. It's not what dictates our foreign policy overall. It doesn't affect our trade with Europe in any meaningful way. We have some trade with Canada, but we're not going to invade them for fucking tar sands. The petrodollar doesn't dictate it. The fact that most of our cars still run on oil and gas in North America does, and that's on a fade.
Saudi Arabia wants when we go bomb people like in Yemen and stuff like that.
Is that why we go bomb people in Yemen and stuff like that? Is that why?
And also, so guess what? So they're gonna get the pet.
China is days away from killing the petrodollar. Yes, in 2018. Days away. Well, technically all years are made up of days. You got me, Jimmy.
Petrodollar Once we went off the gold standard,
Yeah, that's what it was. P.S. Buy gold. If you haven't, secure gold. Gold today. Gold and buy gold stuff because pretty rock, important. Pretty rock, good. Pretty rock, then dirty black goo. Black goo, pretty rock, all good, all real. Money not, money fake. Money paper with people on it. No meaning, no goodness. Paper, no good. Pretty rock and goo.
so Nixon takes us off the gold standard.
Shit. We're going fucking zeitgeist now.
So now, what do we got to back up our money? We get a deal with Saudi Arabia that Saudi Arabia will make anybody who tries to buy oil from them, they would have to use American dollars to buy.
Yeah, and the deal was the Saudis did this. You think the Saudis did this because America was like, we're going to shoot you if you don't? No. They did it because they wanted U.S. dollars to put into the U.S. stock market, the only stable and valuable one on the fucking planet. Because if you don't believe me, put your money in the Nikkei in, I don't know when we're talking about this early 80s. What do you think it looked like in 1989? Huh? Wait, what do you think the lesson learned there was? What are you going to do? Put it in the Chinese stock market? How about the Russian stock market? How about the European exchange where you have like 9 major economies over there fighting over who has leeway in this? Shit.
Oil from them. And why would Saudi Arabia agree to that? Because we then promised Saudi Arabia to use our military anywhere they wanted.
No, that's not how it worked. But it's a simple dum-dum way of thinking that that's how it works. Big, you give us goo, we give you papers. Then we give you hammer. Hammer for goo.
And that's why we're helping commit a genocide in Yemen.
Yeah, is that why? Oh, by the way, this is what he's talking about. Hold on. Saudi, Yemen, USA. Here it is, April. Let's see what's the newest one. Okay, that's foreign policy. Yeah, here you go. This is, hold on. This is, Joe Biden's announcement is a pivot in U.S. foreign policy, but experts say what exact support will be cut is unclear. This is U.S. ending aid to Saudi-led forces in Yemen, but questions persist. U.S. President Joe Biden last week announced plans to end U.S. support for Saudi Arabia's offensive operations in war-torn Yemen, including ceasing relevant arms sales to the government in Riyadh. The move signaled a distinct shift in Washington's approach to the conflict and renewed emphasis on reaching a diplomatic solution to the years-long war, which has caused caused what the United Nations describes as the world's worst humanitarian crisis. But since the announcement on Thursday, the Biden administration has released few details on what support, because they're just cutting it all off, on what supports to Saudi Arabia-led coalition forces in Yemen it plans to end, or how it will differentiate from other U.S. assistance and arms sales to Saudi Arabia. The United States provides spare parts, munitions, technical assistance, all kinds of things to the Saudi military, which enable its offensive operations. Bruce Rydell, a senior fellow at the Brookings Institute, which, by the way, they're the ones running most of the stories you'll find about the Yemen war between Saudi Arabia. Let's see. So if the Saudis continue to use Royal Saudi Air Force to bomb targets in Yemen, presumably under this doctrine, the aid and assistance should halt, right? The U.S. began providing logistical and intelligence support to Saudi Arabia-led coalition in March 2015, shortly after Saudi Arabia and the UAE launched a military offensive in support of President Mansour Hadi, who was overthrown by the Houthi rebels. The support included the creation of a joint U.S.-Saudi planning cell to coordinate military and intelligence. This is the genocide he's talking about. After a coup, remember how upset he was about the coup in 2014, that there was a coup and the U.S. forced a coup. This was reaction to a coup that happened, but that's okay. But since the war began, Saudi Arabia has remained the largest importer of U.S. arms in the world, with major imports growing 130% from 2015 to 2019. We don't sell that many, which might surprise people. We send our stuff, but we're in it. We control it. Compared with the previous 5-year period, again, 130% from 2015 to 2019 compared to the 5 years before. During the same period, 73% of Saudi Arabia's arms imports came from the United States. The U.S. Department of Defense said on Friday that the U.S. intelligence assistance to the Saudi Arabia-led coalition, which largely related to air attacks, would cease. So there's some specifics. We are not supporting any of their air attacks on Yemen at all, which is the primary way we do it. And we're not supporting any troops in Yemen. The Biden administration will go through an interagency process to determine what constitutes offensive support for the coalition, as well as to evaluate individual arms sales. State Department spokesperson Ned Price said at a news conference the same day. But hey, guys, there's no difference. There's no difference between the two parties. There's no, Republicans, Democrats, two legs in the same pair of pants. I'm sure Jimmy will tell us that because we are genociding. We're genociding Yemen because we started genociding them and we've never stopped.
And they can chop up anyone who annoys the head guy.
That's right.
With impunity.
Right. So the head guy chopped up that Jamal Khashoggi, the Washington Post reporter, and we looked the other way.
Oh, did we? Oh, by the way, by we, he means the Trump administration and Jimmy and his friends. I don't remember looking the other way. Do you guys remember looking the other way?
That's something they say Putin does, like Hitler. But no, the guy we're in bed with...
By the way, Putin doesn't chop people up. He just sprays poison in their face or gets them shot. I wouldn't put it past him. Honest to God, most of us wouldn't be surprised if Putin ultimately had a tattoo with a wood chipper on his arm. But that's not the assertion. And by the way, just because Jamal Khashoggi was killed by MBS, and that guy's a fucking monster, does not mean that Vladimir Putin is somehow innocent of the things that we have asserted that he does, which are obvious. Not just us, by the way. The Germans, the British.
The head of Saudi Arabia right now, the prince, he did that. We don't care.
Yeah, we do. I do.
So guess what's happening now? So Joe Biden is so poorly mismanaging this situation that he might collapse the dollar and our economy forever.
And now you're for this, right? Isn't Jimmy for this? Isn't Jimmy for the U.S. dollar not being involved in petroleum? And therefore, oh no, I forgot. Jimmy's got probably $1.5 million in the stock market. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Which is going up, by the way. But he might have invested in oil. That's probably what it is. Oil's going down right now. And Jimmy's a smart guy. He probably saw that the Russian invasion of Ukraine would raise oil prices, and he was like, I got some play money now. I'll throw some money in there. And then it took a shit, and he's now mad at Joe Biden.
And that's not hyperbole, because it's based on the Petro Dollar.
Yeah, the Petro Dollar.
So you should start buying Bitcoin and gold.
Fucking hell. You should start buying Bitcoin and gold. Yeah. How long, guys, how long do you think before Jimmy starts selling prepper food? I mean, I've got a timer already set on Russell Brand. What do you think? 3 months? I mean, eventually you have to shit or get off the pot. You either have to say that it's the end times or not.
But what do I know?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's amazing how little you know. It's amazing how little you give a shit. It's amazing how you allow a talking point that's 3 years old to survive. You drink this shit like milk that's been sitting on a windowsill for months.
Nothing. China is days away from killing the petrodollar. This is
from March 23rd, 2018.
From the International Man.
Yeah, the International Man. It's from the International Man. You're just going to skip by that was a 2018 article. He's just going to... That's 4 fucking years old?
For decades, the U.S. has been able to exclude virtually any country it wants from international trade. Right now, if one country wants to trade with another, it basically needs U.S. permission first.
No, it doesn't. Basically. Nothing tells you a real conversation is happening around economics and foreign policy like basically.
That's because for a short while longer...
Yes, a couple of days, according to this article from 2018.
The United States dollar is the world's most important currency.
Still is.
The United States Navy also dominates the world's oceans,
Yeah, except we're leaving. And by the way, look at this. Say
controlling
this.
most major shipping lanes.
Okay, no, not controlling most major shipping lanes. Patrolling most major shipping lanes. The only reason a lot of countries could trade freely was because we kept the seas free from pirates and rogue nations. For free.
But China is building a new international system.
Yeah, they totally are. And this is totally true in 2018, before COVID, and it's still true now.
Eventually, it will let China and its trading partners totally bypass the United States.
Yeah. Well, let me guess. Is that thing called the Belt and Road Initiative? It sounds intriguing. Tell me more.
Most investors know that oil is the largest and most strategic commodity market in the world.
It's on its way out, but sure.
It dwarfs all the other major commodities markets combined.
Yeah, but you can't eat it, can you?
Every country needs oil, and for a short while longer,
Yes, and we don't. North America doesn't need oil. The price goes up when it goes down in other places. But if we just decide to sell it in an insular market and China removes themselves from that sales market, you done, son.
they need U.S. dollars to buy it. That's a very compelling reason to hold large dollar reserves.
That's why they do it, so they can buy oil. Or pay bond payments on bonds they bought in US dollars, or to buy into the stock market because you can't use yuan to do that at Goo at Pretty Rock.
So if you want to buy oil, you got to go get a shit ton of American dollars.
Yeah, you also have to do that for a lot of American stuff.
And so they're saying that lots of countries keep American dollars at reserve. And
That's what they're saying. They're saying this. It says this in the International Man, which, by the way, I used to get International Mail as a catalog. I thought it was a curious catalog. You know, I liked some of the, the shirts and the stretched jeans and stuff. The banana hammocks were a bit much. I don't know how I started getting it, but, I was glad it came.
props up the American dollar.
No, it doesn't. It's because the American dollar props up these markets. The stability of the American dollar, even with all of its troubles, is far more stable than other. Ask the creation of the euro.
This is the essence of the petrodollar system, which has underpinned the U.S. dollar since the early 1970s.
Hey, what was happening in the early 1970s? Besides pubes. Oh yeah, there were no computers. There was nothing, no telecommunication. There was no internet. If you wanted a show like Jimmy's or mine, you had to have a television studio to do it, which cost tens of thousands of dollars. It's basically, now in the early 70s, it's the same. The economy is the same. It's the same. Isn't it? Isn't your life, anybody who was alive during the 70s, isn't it? If you closed your eyes and woke up in the 70s, would you even notice? Things would be slightly beige, but other than that, the carpets would be shaggier.
Right now, if Italy wants to buy oil from Kuwait, it has to purchase U.S. dollars on the foreign exchange market to pay for the oil first. This creates a huge artificial market for U.S. dollars.
A huge artificial market for US dollars, which isn't artificial at all because Kuwait doesn't want fucking Italian currency or euros for this. They want the US dollar because it's stable and it has a meaningful value. Whereas the Italian currency at the time, whatever the fuck he's referencing, 1970s or 2018 or the euro or what have you, the reason they go to the US dollar is because it's stable, and Italy isn't going to do part of its trade-offs in Kuwaiti dinar, because why the fuck would you? Work that shit out instead of, you know what, this is a good midway. We can buy this currency and it doesn't fluctuate like ours does. One of us doesn't have a king that can turn it on and off or raise or lower the value tomorrow if they fucking want to, just like Xi Jinping could with the yuan. And the other one doesn't have to ask Europe about what the value of their own internal currency is today. And by the way, the assertion by International Man in 2018 that this is an artificial market when the market is effectively an agreement anyways. There's nothing artificial about the agreement. If you make the agreement, it's not artificial. You don't have to like it. But for fuck's sake, can we not pretend?
In part, this is what separates the...
And again, why the fuck is he reading an article from 2018 as a gotcha in 2022?
United States dollar from the purely local currency, like the Mexican peso. The dollar is just a middleman.
Right. A trusted middleman. Basically, the guy in the middle of a Mexican standoff whose guns are actually loaded, to use a reference out of that. There's three guys like this, and the American's like, I actually have bullets in mine. These actually function. The other guy goes, I'm not even sure the barrel's facing the wrong way. And one guy's got the gun actually facing this way.
But it's used in countless transactions amounting to trillions of dollars that have nothing to do with the United States products or services.
Yes, they do. You know what one of the services is that's in this? Is the maintenance of and the availability of a trusted currency, dumb fuck. That's a service. Jesus Christ. The bank holds your money in between. It doesn't do your job for you or pay you for your job like your employer does, and it doesn't buy groceries for you. It just acts as a middleman, Jimmy. The bank just acts as a middleman. What service does it provide? Does it go to the store for you? No. All it does is keep your money in one place, make sure it doesn't get stolen, and give you easy access to it through a fucking card that you can use. Now, you could use another bank, like your buddy's mattress, because, what's the difference? That's the local way of handling it is take your money and put it in his fucking mattress. And he could provide you with the same service, right? You could just go over to his house. If he's not home, just bust a window, take your money out, go use it. That is a service. That is financial products are product. Look, intellectual property rights. Look at the value of intellectual property rights. And the United States is the forbearance that everybody counts on in protection of their international property rights, their intellectual property rights across the international spectrum. For fuck's sake.
Jesus Christ. Even our money is a consultant.
Yeah, right?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
No, it isn't. There's nothing surprising about it. And by the way, what do you think you're doing right now? You're a pundit. You're a consultant for, I guess, interjections on this guy's show who would never give you credit as a constant guest, throws a fucking graphic over your face. I don't understand how Jimmy's guests don't get insulted by this bullshit. Do they just have no shame whatsoever? They have, it's just an egoless endeavor. I'm just here to share what I have to share with Jimmy. He doesn't pay me, but, I'm here to just say whatever he needs me to say. And then he can cover my face with a graphic that he controls from his fucking easy chair in his $120 shirts while talking about, neo-Marxism.
Since the oil market is so enormous, it acts as a benchmark for international trade. If foreign countries are already using dollars for oil, it's just easier to use dollars for other international trade too.
Yeah, it's just convenience that they do it. It's not because they can count on the dollar. What? Wouldn't it be easier to just use puka shells? Why wouldn't it just be easier to make up your own Bitcoin? Just make up your own version of Bitcoin, right? Bit gold and call it that. And then if you call it that and it's in a computer, it might be Jesus.
So you get that. So they have to go get beefed up on American dollars so they can buy oil. So they just start using that for everything.
Yeah, they just use it for everything just because it's laying around. It's just sitting there. That's the thing. It's just that the giants of the petrochemical industry are lazy, really.
In addition to nearly all oil sales, the United States dollar is used for about 80% of all international transactions.
That's so weird. Why would people do that? I mean, like most people, 80% of international transactions aren't around oil. Why would they do that? Oh, because it goes through New York, because Goldman Sachs sees about $5 trillion of transactions. I want to say every evening.
The United States dollar is used for 80%.
Look how mad he is. What are you, fucking Canadian? Congratulations, Americans. Without our economic system, the world would collapse. We've been keeping it afloat this entire time. We are the most reliable currency on earth. And not because people are lazy.
Of all international transactions.
Oh, look how disgusted he is. How did that shit happen? Says an article from 2018. During the last 4 years, we all know nothing has changed.
That's good for us. It's soon coming to an end, which will be catastrophic for us.
Why? Why, Jimmy? Explain that. By the way, you're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show in any way you can. There's a little Venmo thing right there. You can take a picture of it with your phone and support the show, or you can go to patreon.com/Hal Sparks and become a patron today, or just super chat or support some other way, or just sit back and enjoy the show. I put on a timer so I would do a reset when I'm supposed to. I'm restarting the timer now.
This gives the United States unmatched geopolitical leverage.
Yes. And wouldn't the world be a better place if China had unmatched geopolitical leverage? Wouldn't the world be a more peaceful place if Saudi Arabia had unmatched geopolitical leverage?
The United States can sanction or exclude virtually any country from the U.S. dollar-based financial system at the flip of a switch.
No, they can't. As we all saw recently, it took a lot. As a matter of fact, we don't have control over the SWIFT system, and people can have physical dollars if they can get them. There's no flip of the switch. That's a cartoon. So understand that the entirety of this article is based on the United States as an evil overlord that looms like a puppet master over the whole international trade system and can flick you like a bug, your little country, no matter how big, off of it if they just don't like you anymore. Instead of, it has to be really fucking extraordinary before we take a step to exclude you from all trade. So,
by extension, it can also cut off any country from the vast majority of international trade.
But usually you have to try and build a nuclear weapon and threaten an ally with total demise every time you go on television. If you skip one, we might let you in.
The petrodollar system is why people and businesses everywhere in the world take United States dollars. Other countries have had little choice about it until now.
Until now. And now is, of course, 2018.
The death.
Cut to same bullshit today.
The petrodollar.
So the article from 4 years ago that turned out to be bullshit. Same argument shows up today. Same bullshit.
Or Pepe Escobar, the ultimate game changer, and it came much sooner than we all thought. Saudi Arabia is considering. Are you ready for this? Accepting.
Oh, they're considering it. Well, that sounds like the death of the petrodollar to me. Saudi Arabia is considering accepting yuan and not US dollars for selling oil to China. Cool. Good luck.
Yen, is that how you say it?
No,
Yuan.
Juan.
Juan.
It's not Juan. Does it start with a W? You dipshits.
Hey, Juan.
Yeah, I think it's Juan, yeah.
I think it's Juan. I mean, thank God we're having a conversation with people that truly understand economics. I think it's pronounced Moni. Moni. I've heard that that's how Billy Idol pronounces it. So that's how I'm gonna pronounce it. The US dollar, is, I think that's how you say it, the US dollar.
Yuan and not U.S. dollars. See what the pronunciation is
Be
on
you
that.
want.
Oh, God. See what the pronunciation is. Motherfucker, you posted this. How do you not? Come on.
And not U.S. dollars for selling oil to China.
Uh-huh. You hear that? They're considering accepting yuan to sell oil to China and not the dollar. They're considering it. Now what'll happen? What happens if they do that? And then they take the yuan and they can't use it anywhere else.
Translation, China told them this is the new groove.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like a fact. Translation, China told them this is the new groove. It's pronounced grove, by the way. The no grove. Fasten your seatbelts.
Fasten your seatbelts.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you're going to be buying stuff in wands. How many, 20 wands, is that a Valdez? All right.
Here's from the Wall Street Journal.
Yes, it's the same article.
Saudi Arabia considers accepting Juan.
Fuck me. Oh, God. Juan. Yeah. They pronounce Y with a Mexican J. Jesus Christ.
Instead of dollars
It's pronounced dollar.
for Chinese oil sales. Do we know what
Oil sales.
the pronunciation is on that?
How do you not know? How do you discuss geopolitics in the modern era and not know it's the yuan? How do you not know? How do you... Dude, just say renminbi. It'll help you. That's how the... Just say qian. That's like money. Fucking hell. How do you pronounce it? How do I pronounce this thing I'm pretending to be an expert on while I read an article from 4 years ago that I haven't read until now that turned out not to be true? And now there's similar stories running in Rupert Murdoch's paper and reposted by people who normally I would call neocon fascist corporate collaborators. What's that called?
I think it's Juan.
Hey Siri, what is the
Get the fuck out of here. What? First of all, it's Siri. Motherfucker doesn't even know how to pronounce. Say that again. Shut up. Shut up. He did not. He did not.
Arabia considers accepting Juan
Motherfucker.
instead of dollars for Chinese oil sales. Do we know what the pronunciation is on that?
I think it's Juan.
Hey Siri,
Surrey. Motherfucker with the fringe on top. Surrey. It's Siri. I don't even know how his fucking phone works. He just had it so long it knows he's a dumbass. Is that what's happening? It's fucking Surrey. By the way, the worst thing that's ever happened to America is big tech censorship. Hey, Surrey, how do you say... Fucking hell. And you don't do that on a broadcast show. You don't say Siri on some... What a dick move. Hey, Surrey. Fuck you.
what is the currency in China?
Right, renminbi. Yes, that's the people's money, dum-dum. What? Renminbi? What is that? Look at the look on his fucking face. Oh, shit. And by the way, can I just, do I get to gloat a little bit? That I beat Surrey to renminbi? That's look how confused he is. Renminbi? What's this bullshit? This is what happens with big corporations run money. Apple probably runs on American dollars and they're trying to fuck with me on my show.
The what?
Fucking hell. Oh, God, it's painful. just so fucking dumb. Okay, if anybody from Jimmy's show is watching right now, money in Chinese is qian. So a lot of times you'll go, 我没有钱, I don't have any money. 我有很多的钱, I got a lot of money, right? But yuan is the unit of money that we buy and sell on the international market. That's what you talk about. That's the yuan is the actual Chinese. It's like it is a Chinese pronunciation of a very similar character as yen, right? Because they too deep. But renminbi is the people's money, right? Because it's a communist fucking country. So they call it internally the renminbi. Fucking hell. Look at this jackass's face. Shit. Hi. 6:30. It's what? 6:30. All right. Are we leaving soon? Yes. Okay. Give me 15 minutes. No. Yes. Yes. My mom wants to say hi. Come here, Mom. Come here. She's coming in to get me for dinner. Lean down here so they can see it. Hello. Hello. This is my mom. Hello. Hi. Sorry.
We're starving.
Huh?
We're starving.
All right. I'll be there in 15 minutes. We'll leave in a couple minutes. All right. Let me.
The renminbi?
Fuck me. The renminbi? What the hell? What the hell?
China. The what? The renminbi?
Oh God. I'm going to. Please tell me there aren't scissors nearby. I'm going to stab my computer. This is the dumbest thing.
What happened?
Huh? I'm commenting on a video, so you can't hear what he's saying, because that'll. My mom's like, "What happened now? Is your computer broken? Why do you want to destroy?" This is so stupid. Oh God, I would call him Jam Vandy. I don't have Jimmy Dore's number. Why would I?
That's not helpful.
That's a cop-out, Siri.
That's a cop-out, he says. Listen to these two idiots. Listen to these two idiots discussing the Petro Dollar, the world economy, and they can't even pronounce the unit of measurement for the internationally we regard as the Chinese currency, and they are so culturally idiotic about the entire country, which, by the way, Jimmy praises regularly as a legitimate form of government because they are allegedly, because it's socialism with Chinese tendencies, also known as communism. And he, for Christ's sake, he doesn't even know the word. He's never even heard it.
Helpful.
This is solid programming.
I hear somebody just told me yuan, and I'm trying to hear it online too. Yuan.
You pronounce it yuan.
No, you don't. Yuan. It's one syllable. Yuan. And now I understand how some people have a difficulty maybe saying that, but that does not make it yuan. It's, you know what? It's yuan. The currency of China, the southern part of China is yuan, and we say y'all. We throw it all together. So if you can say y'all, you can say yuan. Get it? Okay.
So Saudi Arabia considers accepting yuan instead.
Saudi Arabia is considering accepting y'all
of dollars for Chinese oil sales. That is what's known as a bombshell.
No, it isn't. It wasn't in 2018. It's not now.
But we all better learn how to pronounce that, I guess, huh?
Yes. I guess we're all better learn how to pronounce.
We're saying no dollars, only yuan, please.
I don't know anything about this. I'm confused.
And here is
like, get off my screen. Get off my screen, peon, that I have on my show occasionally to mispronounce words.
Escobar says that China will buy Saudi.
Yeah, that's the guy whose tweet you just read. We saw that before.
Oil in yuan, and this will accelerate the death of the petrodollar.
Well, no, he didn't. He actually said they're considering it. But good luck, like I said.
Oh my god.
Oh my God. It's like the tweet we read before, except they took considering out.
National correspondent.
Should start. Oh, so he's for it. We all thought. You can tell because we're still saying the word considering about one particular country doing it 4 years after an article written in 2018 that Jimmy just read to you as if it was from this week. Did he? Honest to God, I don't. This is his clip. He put this up. So I didn't modify this at all. I didn't add or subtract anything. This is Jimmy's clip as he put it up here. Now, I might have to leave early because we've got to go to dinner. But the beginning of it, he didn't say that that article was from 2018. We just spotted that. As a matter of fact, he avoided saying it at the very beginning.
The Kazakh newspaper
Kazakh. Fuck. Can he not pronounce? Does he just doesn't care? He doesn't care. He just doesn't care. I've never seen anyone so Amerocentric who isn't a Karen just not give a shit about learning about any other words in the world.
Capital reported that the Eurasian Economic Union, formed by Belarus, Kazakhstan, Russia, and China, will develop a project for an independent international monetary and financial system.
Oh, yeah. Will develop a project for an independent international monetary financial system. Oh, you mean they will codify their underground human trafficking, drug, and illicit arms sales conduits into a functioning system that can be tracked? Are you a moron? They already have a system like that.
This is not good.
This is not good. What if they stop selling human slaves in American dollars? I mean, they don't now, but they might start and then stop, and then where would we be?
For the United States.
That would not be good for the United States, where Jimmy lives and makes all of his money. Why? Again. All right.
If Trump was letting this happen, people would be screaming.
Trump didn't have any say in whether it would happen or not. What do you mean letting it happen? In all honesty, what do you mean? What does letting it happen mean? There is no point where we have control over this part of it. And the assertion that we should have control of it seems contrary to Jimmy's entire ethos.
Joe Biden is doing it and nobody's saying anything.
Joe Biden is doing it and nobody's saying it. What is he doing? What is he doing? Getting us out of petroleum as a major import-export? What does he do? What is Joe Biden doing, Jimmy? What's he doing?
March 11th, what do you want to say, Kurt?
Yeah, say something, Kurt, because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
It's so crazy now. They're saying shit like Trump wouldn't have let this happen. Like Trump hater people.
Oh! I'll show you a video of the guy who hosts the Daily Show. What's his name?
Yeah, Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's wild.
So that's wild. That is wild.
That is wild, actually. On March 11th,
Let what happen? Again, what control are we supposed to? What are we supposed to do? Threaten Saudi Arabia with violence so they don't trade with China? Is that what Jimmy's asserting? Because that's what he's asserting we did before to create the Petro Dollar, is that we used the threat of violence and the elimination of people from the International Monetary Exchange for doing this. These are the two ways, carrot and stick.
economic dialogue took place, revealing a new phase of monetary, financial, and economic cooperation between the Eurasian Economic Union and the People's Republic of China. Global transformation, challenges, and solutions. The strengthening of economic relations comes amid the escalating international attack by the United States and European countries against the European Union countries and China.
how are we? What are we escalating against them? By the way, this would be us pushing back on Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
The current war in Ukraine has increased the international
See you in a
boycott of
second.
Russia.
Yeah, that's what it is. Joe Biden is allowing this to happen, guys.
Likewise,
More worst moments. No, it isn't. Except for the supply shock aspect of it. And what are we doing? We're reshoring factories and tightening the supply chain because it was a mistake to let it get this big and so distant. And it's a waste of energy and a waste of resources to spread it out all over the goddamn place.
the announced project will allow greater independence of the Russian-Chinese bloc and cooperation in the field of development.
Yeah. Yes. Now Russia's going to give China some of its old Soviet supercarriers, and they can use them as hotels too.
It is assumed that the new system will be based on a new international currency.
Uh-oh. Yuan coin. Remedy coin. Remedy coin.
Which will be calculated as an indicator of the national currencies of the participating countries and commodity prices.
Yes, and who's going to run that? They're going to create a secondary Fed for their interchange, and then they're going to get pissed at each other, and then they're going to go, fuck you, I'm using dollars. Like, what are you talking about?
I don't know what any of that means.
We know.
The first draft.
It means they're going to have to create in this project a new bureaucracy that will define who can raise and lower the value of their currency in the exchange so that they can all fairly trade amongst each other, which is a level of bureaucracy that autocracies don't tend to enjoy, Jimmy.
Will be up for discussion by the end of March, according to Capital. So they're making their own currency.
Yeah, they're just going to make it. They're going to, it's clay coin. They're going to make it out of clay. It doesn't matter.
Here is business.
Well, it's this always hoping, Jimmy. You know, the starvation and death of your fellow Americans is something always to root for. But hey, we could remedy it really easily by having a war for oil, Jimmy. Is that what you're calling for?
Look at their pictures. It looks like MBS.
All right, my folks are ready to go to dinner, and my light just went out, so it's time for me to bail out. I will finish this one later tonight, you guys, when I pick back up. I know, they're all waiting to go. My mom's and my dad's right over there, and they even brought a dog in to try and get me. I will see you guys later. Take care of yourself, and I will jump back on later on tonight. Sorry about the slapdash back and forth. Jimmy's audio static like every other time. Okay, thank you. I'll try and fix that. Much love. Peace. Be wild. Okay, what do we have for the show tonight? Well, I'm going to pick up where I left off with this nonsense. Where the last time we saw James and whatever rando he is bringing on to just, I guess, I think he's broadcasting live from Mario's mega church from Flashpoint. Is that what it is? Just the sun behind his head with this. It's not grandiose or anything. Speaking through a Blue Yeti, you know. It obviously he's not on the same level as Jimmy. Jimmy's using a $400+ Sony. You know, he went full Joe Rogan on it. He's getting the quality one. Meanwhile, his guest is, stumbling by with whatever he can get at Best Buy. Right? Yes. So we're picking. Yes, it is the Earth. That's true. Not all Yetis are blue. That's right. So this heavy bag. I was just sort of doing a room rating on this fucked up production of Jimmy's, which is very disappointing considering the amount of money Jimmy is making and how shitty he treats his guests, all the while glomming off of whatever input they're putting in, right? Their jokes are his jokes. Their thoughts are his thoughts because it's the Jimmy Dore show. And who cares if they say the smart and funny thing? He goes, ha ha, and then that's his, right? He's basically the podcasting character in who does what's the one? Not everything is okay in Oklahoma, or not okay in Oklahoma, whatever that was. Um, how she just like bullies her staff. Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. All right, so let's see. You like the new road background? Thanks. I threw that up and made a little, like, grab one of these little frames, toss that up, a little movement in there. Made this guy, right, as a constant reminder. If it's too annoying, let me know. But it keeps me from having to say it all the goddamn time, right? His priority is continuity over content. Um, I would just say ego and laziness, right? Anyways, so where we saw them last was they didn't know how to pronounce the Chinese word yuan while discussing how China is going to overtake us and become the reserve currency from an article in 2018 that said it was right around the corner. And now they are citing could be possiblies. And he also pronounced Surrey, as in with the fringe on top. That's where we were last time. So I'm gonna guess from the look in both of their eyes that they know even less about the topic than now than when we started the video. I don't know how you do that, but that's true.
That's right, Jimmy. And Joe Biden's going, no.
Yeah, again, hold on. Can we back up and pick up where that thought was? We'll go to here. Yeah, this is the follow-up article by the guy who tweeted that they're going to come up with a program. It's assumed the new system will be based on a new international currency, which will be calculated as an indicator of the national currencies of the participating countries and commodity prices. Right. So again, what we were talking about earlier was he was naming 4 autocracies, dictatorships: China, Russia, like fucking Kazakhstan, and Iran, or something like that. It's basically like just countries that would otherwise, in the old days would just lop each other's leaders' heads off, are going to somehow create a bureaucracy amongst themselves to agree on a stabilized currency between the 4 of them. That's going to happen. Yeah.
International currency. Uh-oh.
Again, that's easy. You just make one, right? Shitcoin. Oh, that was weird.
Participating countries.
Okay, now I'm getting grisly audio. All right, let's do something else. That was weird.
Any of that means. The first draft will be up for discussion by the end of March, according to Capital. So they're making their own currency.
They're just going to make their own currency. They're just going to take monopoly money and print on top of that. And even they haven't agreed on it. It's of course China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and one other country, Iran, not Iran, because Saudi Arabia and Iran are at each other's throats. In the same way that Russia and China aren't necessarily buddies, but that's another story. They're all going to agree on a stable, secondary, international, limited, by the way, international currency just for the 4 of us. We can make it if we try.
Business Insider, Saudi Crown Prince
Snubbed Biden's request to discuss the oil crisis brought on by, yeah, because they've only got one option right now. We don't need their oil. And the oil, the Americans are not buying Saudi oil. We don't need it. We buy Russian oil sometimes because the companies do, because it's frigging cheap. The only reason we need them to, either raise or lower the amount of oil they're putting out is to stabilize prices. And they have no interest in doing that. They have to go for all the money they can get right now because they got bottomed out by COVID.
Snubbed Biden's request to discuss the oil crisis brought about by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So it seems like it's all over.
That's very weird. That's the tail end of this thing? Hold on.
In the world? I don't know.
You mean vague corporate reasons, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah, here you go. This is where they were. I don't know why that did that, but that's weird.
We might just go into a tailspin and never recover.
Look at their pictures. It looks like MBS is like, yeah, that's right, Jimmy, and Joe Biden's going, no.
It's funny how Business Insider chose pictures. And that's what the pictures look like. They look like he's going, yeah, that's right, Jimmy. That's exactly what MBS looks like. What? What kind of egomaniacal horseshit is this?
You want to see? We showed you this before. Here is the prince from Saudi Arabia and Putin. Look how happy they are. They high five each other.
Yeah, this is a while back, and this is certainly this is supposedly after they were at each other's throats with this this battle to produce more oil. If you'll recall, Trump had to go over and supposedly negotiate between the two of them. And what ultimately happened? We lowered our output, and we paid for Mexico to lower theirs. So either they were rope-a-doping the United States on price, which is entirely possible, and Trump fell for it, or they were really involved in a game of chicken, and we had to like cut our own throat for a while to get them to back down, and now they're just posturing. Who gives a shit?
Those guys are pals.
I wonder what they're high-fiving over.
They're all smiles and shits and giggles.
Look at that. Like they just
Look at
made a
that.
new currency.
Like they just made a new currency.
Yeah, they didn't. That's old.
Wow.
Saudi invites China's President Xi as relations with Washington remain soured.
Yeah, good luck with that. Xi Jinping has not left China since 2020, and he ain't gonna. Sure shit is not gonna go to a country where they throw a reporter in a wood chipper.
Is that how you pronounce his name? Xi? Or
It's G.
Xi?
Oh, motherfucker. It's she. It's she, as in, she walks by moonlight. No one really knows. She's got a way about her. That kind of she. It's pronounced that way, not G.
G. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Zha Zha.
Like Xi?
No, it's not like Zha Zha. Go back to try and pronounce fucking currency Juan again.
Oh, Xi.
G. Yeah.
Saudi
Yeah, it's like that. No, it isn't.
invites China's President Xi as relations with Washington remain soured. It looks like we fucked up.
Yeah, it fucked up. Yeah, we've soured our relationship with China right about the time they were conducting a genocide, sterilizing Uyghur women, and creating rape camps. I don't know why we can't get along. You're right, Jimmy. Gosh, I don't know what we thought we were doing. Why in the world would we turn on...
It looks like it's all over, and it looks like Joe Biden and NATO did this.
Yes, Joe Biden and NATO did this. Did what? And again, the only solution to something like Saudi Arabia doing this, the reason behind things like the Iraq War were arguably to keep the Petro Dollar going. And Joe Biden going, yeah, we're not doing wars for oil anymore, and we're moving off of oil entirely. So we don't give a shit if you trade in oil. We've got other things worth trading in the United States. We can produce things that the globe values, including the best vaccines that exist against this disease and all of the technology used to implement it worldwide and distribute it.
It's like they're saying, no, you're canceled.
Can you believe that Wall Street would let this happen? Like this, I need somebody.
Jimmy, I was going
to... What is his complaint here? Can you believe Wall Street would let this happen? Here's an idea, Jimmy. It ain't happening. How about you just want Biden and America to lose so badly that you are monkey branching between articles 4 years apart, selling a narrative that you both want and think is a disaster. Their volume's low? Okay, hold on one second. I'll see if I can bring that up a touch.
say like that makes me like extra afraid there's going to be World War III because I'm
That's
like,
right.
well, what would they do to prevent this?
Right, World
That's
War.
why-
Yes. What would they do to prevent this consideration that might be happening that was also considered 4 years ago. What? We need World War III. Why? To stop 4 countries that are run by dictators from forming a bureaucratic alliance to agree on via committee the value of each of their currencies and create an intermediate currency that operates against their own currency and agree on that shit. Yeah, good luck. Fucking hell. Yeah, we're gonna fight World War III because those 4 countries think they can do this when?
That's what I got.
So this is, this is not good.
This is not good. It's not good. I mean, it's supposedly stuff that I was for happening and now I'm against it, but only because Biden's in and it's bad but good at the same time, and America deserves it, but if it happens, it's terrible. What is being even said here?
This is going to be bad for us economically. And this was the big idea of Joe Biden and the Democrats.
What was it? What was the big idea? What big idea? Like, I don't even know that you're losing him. He's having a stroke. What? Does anybody know what the fuck he's actually presenting as an idea here?
To do all this.
To do all this. This is Biden's idea. What I'll do is I'll prevent Russia from murdering a bunch of Ukrainians by providing them Javelin missiles and take the presidency away from Donald Trump right as he's ignored the Uyghur genocide and all these other things until a global pandemic happened. And then I'm going to participate in the greatest reshoring of factories in United States history. And that got us in trouble. He doesn't know what he's presenting as an idea. I don't think he does. That's the thesis. That's the thesis. Yeah, we're fucked. America sucks. We deserve it, but it's Biden's fault. Like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. This is 12 minutes of brutal horseshit. And this is, I think, the most obvious and blatant ignorance Jimmy has ever displayed on his show. Like, he's always been over his head on all of these topics, and he's always sort of like piggybacked on what he believes is the knowledge of other people, which is really not knowledge. It's a frighteningly intense bias by a bunch of these people that he has on his guests regularly. And he just kind of piggybacks them around going, see, I know the smart people. But neither one of them knows what the fuck they're talking about, even on the basic level.
Did no one see this coming? I just can't believe they didn't see. You really think you could do this to Russia and China and they wouldn't sit there and make their own currency?
Do this to Russia and China? Do what? What is he saying we're doing to Russia and China? Not letting Russia take Ukraine, standing up to China, threatening Taiwan, and moving our factories back home because COVID was fucked up and every dime we ever made offshoring factories to China was all lost. Every ounce of profit that companies got moving their factories to China and benefiting from that lower wage worker and all that kind of stuff for 30 fucking years, all of it gone in 2 years. Gone. Businesses cratered, profits through the floor. Every single benefit from having a factory and making money on making products on the cheap in China ultimately cost you more in the end. And everybody knows it now. Everybody's aware of this. It wasn't worth it. And companies that are around for more than 8 years at a time know this now and are getting out. They're going to South Korea. They're going to Vietnam. They're going to Czechoslovakia, or the Czech Republic, rather. But again, have you look at his, like, he doesn't even know what the fuck he's arguing. What is he arguing?
I think the people that are supposed, that see this coming, they made all kinds of plans that had nothing to do with this, and then the people that should have been making plans were just getting paid off, so they didn't.
Oh, yeah, totally. They were getting paid off to look the other way, to not look at the thing that we want to have happen. And as it's happening, we don't want it to happen, but it's happening. And what? What is this? This is just pro-Trump blather. This is Democrats bad for only the reason that if anything works. I mean, honestly, if China's engaging in a current genocide of the Uyghurs, there's no question about this. And though it's a minor part of their population, statistically speaking, it is absolutely going on right now. So having a factory in China and benefiting from a low wage there, from a business standpoint, is a horrifying mistake. And so fewer and fewer companies are willing to continue to make that mistake and look the other way. And so they're starting to broom out piece by piece. And we don't have anything to gain from them anymore. The cost of hold on. Let me show you something. Let's see. Wage costs China versus Mexico. Yeah, here you go. This is just 2020. Is Mexico manufacturing more cost effective than China when it comes to wages? According to Statista, from 2019 to 2020, manufacturing labor costs per hour for China increased from $578 to $650 US dollars, while Mexico experienced a smaller increase from $466 to $482 over the same time period. Of course, it's necessary to take into account the level and wage difference between jobs in both countries when making comparison, but consider the cost versus value between the two countries. In addition to lower labor costs than China, the value of a workforce in Mexico makes nearshore manufacturing an alluring strategic move. First, Mexico recognizes greater productivity with a 48-hour work week compared to the usual 40 work week before overtime is considered in China. So not only do you get workers working at a lower wage in Mexico, they don't get overtime until 48 hours. That's just how the Mexican economy works. And while they get a siesta in some areas of the country, they that 2-hour block they add on to the end of the day. Second, the regional government in Mexico invests and promotes education and training programs, specifically in technical industries, to support the skills necessary to excel in manufacturing in various types of roles. There are over 2,500 higher education institutions, much of which partner with the U.S. and other foreign companies for projects that teach and train the local workforce specializing in industrial skills. Third, there's a unique opportunity working with Mexico shelter companies to maximize cost savings in all areas of operations, including hiring and retaining top employees. This is pretty consistent. Here's a graph of it if you want to look. This is Statista, and they know I'm on here. All right. So this is 2016, 2020. There we go. The green is there. All right. So costs in U.S. dollars for an hourly wage. So this is how it used to be, right? And it used to and you got what it was the blue for it used to be here, 2016, 2017. This is 2016 to 2020. Okay, so they're all going up slightly. But Mexico right here, boom, in 2016 was lower than China. But they built all these factories over time and was playing catch up in what they could do. Still, in China right now, you're talking about $6.50 for hourly workers on average over there. And in Mexico, you're talking about $4.80. If you're a company and you want to make something, they have skilled workers. Their workers are cheaper than China's. And you don't have to boat the stuff across the globe. You have a lower carbon footprint just because you're trucking it up. Do you think Jimmy and this jackass know that? Do you think they care? Do you think they have any idea at all? Good Lord.
They're worrying about it, and then there's going to be a war. That's what I think.
That's what I think. It's just gonna have a war because that's what they do. I mean, that's what I think they do. So that must be what they do.
Well, there you go. And
What do you mean? There you go. What goes? What is this? What the fuck is even the argument here? Do you know? Does anybody know what the fuck the argument is besides America bad and we're probably and Biden to blame, which is just based on what? What is the action Joe Biden took? Not being friendly to Russia attacking Ukraine, not being friendly to China, allegedly over the last 20 years stealing jobs in the offshoring process, and of course murdering Uyghurs. Is Biden somehow not supposed to do that? I swear to God, I honestly don't. Hey, hola in Ontario, hello.
you never even knew about the petrodollar because they never talk about it on the news.
That's because it's not an actual thing. It's a term.
Not until I started watching the show did I ever hear of it, even in passing. No.
Really? It sounds like you don't even hear about it in passing now.
But in passing, you never heard of the petrodollar.
It seems strange because it seems really important.
Seems really important. I remember I had on that guy from Andrew Johnson, and he writes for Fair or whatever. I had him on, and I brought it up, and he looked at me like a Martian just shit me out of an egg. He was like, "Why would you even think about that?" I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe it's because
like
the basis.
corporate.
It's like the basis for everything that happens in the world. I don't know.
I mean,
Because it isn't? It isn't the basis for everything that happens in the world. It never was. Like there's definitely some war for oil issues that America's been involved in, but we're not the only country involved in that. I mean, do you think you don't think Russia's invasion of both Georgia, Chechnya, and Ukraine doesn't have to do with the natural resources available there? And the vast majority of natural resources in a bunch of places where China's moving into Africa, for example, you don't think that has to do with oil and gas, but also lithium and aluminum and all kinds of other shit? There's resource wars have been going on for a long time, but the petrodollar is not the specific point. They even said 80% of financial transactions happen in the US dollar. 80% of financial transactions aren't the petrodollar. It's good Lord.
big corporate reasons, Jimmy.
Yes, cobalt. Great point, Lucius. Again, God help us. I have no idea what the fuck the point was there. I mean, we should have known.
We went off the gold standard.
Hi, stupid. We started this video with this bullshit. China is days away from killing the petrodollar is the title of this fucking thing. And look at the date. He just put this up because it's March 23rd, and he's like, I'm convinced. They'll just see the March 23rd part, even though that's, what, tomorrow? What's or 2 days from now, right? 3 days? I don't know. I've lost track. I'm on vacation. Calm down. 2018. Eat a bag of frog assholes. And then this is the whole, like, China's days away from killing the petrodollar. It's going to happen. And then he shows these other clips making the same prediction that was made in this article 4 fucking years ago that didn't happen and going, ha ha. And then he spends the entire time not even knowing how to pronounce the fucking terms in the conversation. And then I swear all right, let's see if we can find this again. The single dumbest, where did he do it? Is this where it is?
Yuan. You pronounce it yuan. So Saudi Arabia considers accepting yuan and
It's yuan. It's not yuan. It's not y'all. Oh, and this is where the renminbi shit happened. So renminbi is what Chinese people call their currency.
of dollars for Chinese oil sales. Do we know what the pronunciation is on that?
Like it's you.
I think it's
Hold
yuan.
on.
Hey Siri.
Fucking Surrey.
What is the currency in China?
Renminbi is the currency of People's Republic of China.
The what? The renminbi?
The renminbi. Ugh. And it just got worse. Dude, if you can't even pronounce the fucking words, don't discuss the topic. Why in God's name would I take anything you're saying seriously? The renminbi? What did you just heard her say? Renminbi. Renminbi. Fucking hell. Anyway, so that it just got worse from there. Now, by the way, you're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. This is the Roadshow version. So please don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up. If you're on Twitch, please subscribe.